Hello and welcome back to
Real English with real teachers.
I've got an interesting one for you today. I'm going to be talking to a language coach today.
A language coach, you say? What on earth is a language coach? Well, I will ask her that very question. A quick heads up, everybody. This video is useful for English learners and English teachers because it could be classed as professional development for any teachers out there of the English language. So, hope you enjoy. Away we go.
So, hello Christina, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Am I right in understanding that you're calling all the way from Hawaii right now?
You are. Yeah, we have a very big time difference, the two of us. I'm currently in Maui, on the island of Maui in Hawaii. Yes.
Wow. That sounds a little bit more exotic than Nuremberg in Bavaria, Germany.
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Let's go straight into it, actually.
The first question I asked Christina was, what is a language coach?
There's a lot of different kinds of coaching. And a coach in general is built around the principles of a collaborative process. You're working together with the person to really help them focus on the present and develop strategic actions that they can put into their life immediately. So that's coaching in general. And then language coaching, actually quite simply, is just one of the kinds of coaching. So language coaching takes those principles of coaching and applies them to the language learning process.
Right, okay.
So a language coach is a strategic goal setter collaborating with the student.
What is the difference between a teacher and a coach?
A teacher brings in a syllabus and says, this is what you're going to learn. This is what you're going to be able to do by the end of our semester. This is exactly how I'm going to measure your progress. And it's most of the time going to be done within these four walls. Whereas a language coach has a little bit of a sense of urgency. There's an immediate need to focus on developing strategic actions for the here and now. And with a language coach, success would be measured by visible changes in behavior, usually, and visible results in the real life.
Christina mentioned physical differences in ability, which interested me, so I asked her for a physical example to further clarify her point, along with how you would reach this moment in a real session.
A plan is developed and the priorities are set, and together the language coach and the student would decide on actually what those visible results and actions are going to be. That's incredibly important. If you don't preview that, if you don't think about that and set very specific, what some people might call goals, actionable steps, I will know that I have improved my language when I can do this, this, and this. If those aren't set, then they're going to be hard to meet, right? So I have a student I work with who is in this situation, and she is specifically focused on video conferencing.
Okay.
A meeting. And a lot of times she feels that, she has ideas to contribute, she has ideas to participate, and she just absolutely cannot get these words out in English. And it's not necessarily that her level is there, it's that she's just terrified of being made fun of. But there are also a lot of sort of language things to work on as well. So a visible result in language coaching would be, were you able to get through that video conference? So we decide when that day is. I'm texting her all day long. I'm saying, are you feeling ready for it? Do these things that we talked about, the mental preparation, the mind mapping. And then afterwards, did this happen? Did you feel better? Did you say something in English? Were you able to contribute? Now, if the answer is yes, that is a real life, visible behavior change and language improvement that we would say is a step forward.
We then went on to think about a good analogy for coaching, and Christina found a lovely one.
A lot of times when we have a problem, any problem, right? Human beings, when we have a problem, it can feel like we're at the bottom of a well, right? And we're looking up and we see there's a light and we can't get out. And sometimes it can be very serious. And so the well is dark and it's muddy, it's cold and it's musty. And we're in deep in a problem. So I think a lot of times when we think about a teacher, the teacher's role to help you get out of this problem would be one of, again, someone giving you information saying, okay, here are the different ways that you could get out. You could do this, you could do this, you could do this. I'm going to teach you about all of them. I'm going to test you on all of them. And then when I decide that you're ready, I'm going to maybe let you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
A coach is really what the coach is going to do in this situation is they're going to get down in the well with you and they're going to sit by your side and they're going to say, look, here's probably what you should do. Let me see you do it. And you're going to try to get out of the well. And they're going to say, this is what you did great. This is a challenge. How do you think that maybe we can do this differently? There's a lot of input from the person. And then you give them all these tools, but you don't do it for them like a consultant would, for example. The consultant would build the ladder for you. And then you would get a fast, immediate solution, right? The therapist would sort of sit in the well and talk to you about, why are you in the well? How did we get in this well? And, and work through that process with you focused on the past. But if you're a coach, you're going to say, okay, we're here. It's not that the past isn't important. It's not that I don't care how you got in this well, but clearly you're here. So how are we going to get out of this together? I'm not going to build the ladder for you. I'm going to give you the tools. And then I'm going to sort of guide you about how to build the ladder because I know that you're going to be in a well again. And if I just build the ladder for you, then what are you going to do when I'm not here?
So what I understood from that is a coach doesn't instruct you or test you like a teacher does. And they don't ask what led you to this situation like a therapist might do. And nor do they have the specific solutions that a consultant could offer. A coach is actually there to be beside you, to help you figure out how to improve upon your situation faster than you would on your own. So we know what a coach's role is, but that's not enough. I want to get to the bottom of this and actually ask, how does this help the language learner themselves?
It helps students move faster. They have a specific goal. When you make a specific goal, you're working towards something that can be measured, it's time-bound, it's realistic. And this, when you visualize yourself doing this, that's also very powerful on any goal when you want to reach it. And you can move there. You can move there. When I have students who come up to me and they say, I want to learn English, and I go, that's the first sign that there's a lot of work to do. Because then you say, so tell me a little bit more. What does that mean? What would you like to learn? And of course, you sort of poke them along. Did you have in mind like American English, British English? Is this for backpacking? Is this for work? Are we talking about a more formal register, very informal? Are you interested in slang or understanding your favorite TV show? And without overwhelming the person, hopefully you're just throwing dirt in the whole thing and saying, look, we need to organize this a little bit more. Because English is way too vast for anyone to conquer. It's way too huge and broad of a goal for anyone to reach. So what you need to do is start breaking it down and then breaking it down and breaking it down until you get to your little mini first step where you can say, let's do this first. All these other things have to be done, but priorities and making specific objectives helps the learner see progress much faster, which is incredibly important for motivation, which is basically the basis of everything when you're talking about such a big project like language learning.
Okay, there we have it. It seems to boil down to motivation. A coach is there to increase motivation and thus keep you inspired to keep you learning.
And do you ever go any deeper than that? Do you ever go into the sort of, not the therapist, but the understanding why you're motivated and how we can crank that up or how we can motivate in a different way?
Absolutely. We went deep into motivations. We went Motivation is we went deep into how their perception of and negative associations with English / American culture / other cultures in the world, but we were in the United States, so we were focused on American culture, how that was creating a huge blockade and not letting them learn English. And this happens with a lot of students. They have traumatic experiences with English. They associate English with imperialism. They didn't have rich parents, and so they couldn't pay for the English language classes. As a teacher made them say something in English when they were young. This is all very real. Every single day I hear about this because I have many, many, many students now. Every single day we talk about this. And what happens is over time there is a block, and they're blocked, so they can't learn. But because they haven't been taught about how their brain works and that's a natural reaction that their brain is doing, they think they're dumb. And so they think they're just not a language person, or they're just too stupid to learn, and then they stop.
What can you do or say to help someone who has these emotional barriers towards English?
The key is to help them understand that it's not all them. 95% of everything we do and everything that we decide is unconscious. So it's like, it just runs wild. You know what I mean? And what I like, I try to take some of that pressure off my students. And I say, of course you're not going to, speak with the eloquency that you spoke with in the classroom when you're in a TV interview. Check out what your brain does when it's stressed. It's the whole point that the brain exists is to be your maximum comfort zone. And it's to protect you, and it's to keep you, it's for survival. So don't worry about it. This is just your brain doing that. It's not you. It's not because, you didn't study hard enough. It's a natural reaction when you're in that kind of social setting. And just knowing that helps the learners sit there for another 90 seconds, wait for that to pass, and then try again.
Yeah.
It's be really powerful.
Yeah. When did you realize that this was a thing and that it was a really good product or a good idea that you had? When did you realize that?
Yeah. Oh man, I wish this would have been my idea. When I was having conversations with a number of Brazilian learners specifically, to find out what their biggest challenge was with English, I realized, and I was having these conversations because I was looking to start my own business that I have today. I was doing my own sort of informal needs assessment, talking to as many Brazilian English language learners as I could and saying, look, I only have one question. What is your challenge right now with English? What is it? What's the hardest part? What is something that you just can't get over? Not one person, I had 800 conversations, maybe, minimum. Not one single person mentioned the English language. Everybody mentioned fear of making mistakes, fear of speaking, fear of being judged by other Brazilians specifically, fear of your accent, and then there was a whole nother camp. There was no time, no motivation, I don't have the money. No one mentioned the language. And it blew my mind.
We're going to leave part 1 of Christina's interview there for now. We've got much more to come in part 2 that will be released very soon. So I hope you found this topic interesting. It's an area that I absolutely love and am definitely going to be exploring. And if you are a native Portuguese speaker and think you would benefit from language coaching, then definitely check out Christina's stuff. All of this is in the description box. Finally, I want you to answer Christina's powerful question in the comments. What is the single hardest challenge you have related to English? Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget you can join me and Harry in more live group and one-to-one classes through our Patreon page here. You can come and live with us on our immersion courses here, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a cheeky thumbs up. Until next time, over and out.